I want to talk about how to do stuff that you don't want to do. Not necessarily that you don't want to do, but maybe it just feels overwhelming. So I'm going to get into that in just a little bit. I was just thinking though, before I recorded this video, one of the reasons I like these rambling videos almost more than the technical ones that I've been doing on Tuesdays is because the ones that I post on Tuesdays, those are kind of meant to find people. You know, like the thumbnails are more engaging, the titles are more catchy, whatever. They're a little bit more scripted, and I expect those to be the ones that reach a new audience. But I don't expect anybody to find me through one of these Thursday rambling videos because the thumbnail's real lame, the title's not catchy or engaging. No one's searching for what I put in the title. So I don't know. I feel more like it's more guaranteed that I'm probably talking to people who have already been here and you know my style and you know the story and you know how we're doing this channel. So it just feels more comfortable. I feel like I have more leeway. Like I don't have to say everything exactly right. I don't have to use the right words to make you click a link or whatever. So thank you for the patience and the leeway. I'm going to talk about how to do stuff you don't want to do because I'm recording this a week before the tax deadline and I'm just out of ideas at the moment. Everything is taxes. We are getting extensions filed. And in the midst of all this, I was bringing my son to his jujitsu lessons and he said something like, man, Dad, I really, really don't like doing my science work. All of the kids are homeschooled. And I talked about this in another video, might even be the Tuesday video. But he said, I really don't like doing my science homework because it feels like so much. But then once I get started with it, it really isn't that bad. And so I told him, like, whenever you need to do your science, don't think of it as I have to get all this science work done. Think of it as what's the next smallest thing I have to do? Like the very littlest thing. Is it just open my assignment book? Well, that's super easy. We can open an assignment book. And then what's next? Well, maybe then it's just read the assignment. Okay, not a problem. Maybe the next step is open the page to the book that's in the assignment. And so each step is super easy and very doable without feeling like you're doing this huge thing. And I realized as I was telling him this, that I do the same thing with work, with tax returns, like preparing a large tax return or reviewing a really messy tax return. That's a huge task. It's not something that I don't say I don't enjoy doing it. It just feels insurmountable. So I kind of developed a way to say, well, what's the first thing I have to do? I just need to open the client file. I just need to get to the documents. I just need to open the tax return. I just need to open this screen. And like, if I could just do that, then I'll be able to review the tax return. And normally what happens, and I think this happens with y'all too, once you get started on that, well, the next step seems super easy. And I know Jessica's done this with writing, where instead of thinking like, I need to write a chapter, I need to write the next book, I need to figure out the plot hole that I've been working on. Instead, it's like, I just need to open the software that I use, or I need to open the manuscript, or I need to read the last paragraph that I wrote. And I know for her, I think whenever she's writing, she'll have like the same thing every time. And I think, I don't know, I might be making this up, but I want to say she had a thing where it's like, read the last chapter that she wrote, or read at least just the last paragraph that she wrote. It's easy to do, something that is almost enjoyable. And so once she does that, it's like, okay, yeah, I remember I was going to do this, or I was going to do that next. And so with next week being the tax deadline, you may not have filed your taxes yet. You may not have filed an extension yet. You may be kind of stressing out about what to do about taxes. And the idea of, I have to file my tax return, I have to file an extension, that feels insurmountable. So something I made is a tax plan document, a tax plan template. I know a lot of times I hear about tax plans, and you probably hear this too. And you think of it as strategic planning for all of the deductions that you might be able to take. And that is part of tax planning, absolutely. But even if you don't have strategic deductions that you can take or decisions that you can make, you can still have a tax plan. I feel like a tax plan should be more than just a list of deductions. A tax plan should be all the decisions that you have to make surrounding filing your taxes. That way, when tax season comes around, you're not sitting here thinking like, how do I even get started? What do I do? Do I go find the documents, or do I talk to my tax guy, or do I go get TurboTax, or like, what's the first step in getting a tax return filed? So I created this document that's called My Tax Plan, and it's just a template of something you can go through. And you can do this at any point in the year. You can do as much of it or as little of it as you want to. and it just helps you figure out what you're going to do so that whenever it's time to do taxes and you don't know, like, what's the next step, the first step is pull out your tax plan. Just do that. Just pull out your tax plan. Once you've pulled it out, then just read it. Once you've read it, then it might be obvious what that next right step is. So what I want to do for just a second is I want to pull up the PDF of this. I'm going to share my screen and show it to you. Just kind of walk through it. If it's something that you're interested in having, there's going to be a link in the description that takes you to the landing page on my website, where if you put in your email address, it'll be emailed to you. That is going to, this is one of those parts that I wouldn't have said on the Tuesday video. It is going to sign you up for the newsletter. If you were already on the newsletter, I don't know what happens if you put your email address again. I don't think you start getting the emails twice, because I tested this with myself and I got the email, and I don't believe I'm getting duplicates. But if something happens and you have trouble getting this and you want it, just let me know and I'll find a way to send it to you directly. We don't have to go through all the fancy stuff. So let me get to sharing the screen. I'll show you what this is. Okay, so it is a PDF. I'm pretty proud of this. Like, it came out really nice. It's got all the little fluffy words in here and everything else, but you fill it out and it just goes top to bottom. So like, when are you going to file? Are you going to file by the deadline, or are you going to get an extension? And this is specifically if you're filing like a personal 1040. This wouldn't be for your business return. Maybe I need to do a new one for that, or have a separate section for it. But like, for your personal tax return, you just check the box by the 15th, by October 15th. And if you're filing an extension, like, what's the date that you plan on doing it? And you can even put the reasoning. Maybe the reason is I don't expect to have all the documents I need. Or maybe the reason is I want to be able to make decisions about my tax return before filing, and I want to see what happens throughout the year. Are you going to do it yourself? Are you going to get a CPA? Are you going to use an enrolled agent? Enrolled agent and tax professional are actually the same thing. These shouldn't be separate items. But anyway, it is what it is. You put the information, put their info or login information here. And then like your documents, how are you going to save them? And I would check off multiple things here probably. Like, I might save PDFs to a folder, but I might also have tax emails in a specific folder, and I might have some things that are paper or whatever, and describe it down here. That way you know where to go to find these things, because it's so easy to like put things somewhere that think, oh yeah, this is for taxes, let me put it here. And then whenever it's time to do taxes, it's like, where did I put all that stuff? And here's where you put them, which is neat. What I do for my tax stuff is I have a folder in Google Drive, not Google Drive. I use a Microsoft OneDrive, just called tax stuff. And throughout the year, if I get something that I want to remember for taxes for next year, like, I don't know, we buy something that I think might qualify for a tax credit, I'll put that PDF over in that folder just as a reminder for whenever I open the folder of, oh yeah, I was supposed to look into that tax credit. And I usually try to keep a Word document in there for notes to myself for later. So if something comes up and I want to remember, like, oh yeah, I've got some business expenses over in this account over here because we paid it with the wrong bank account. I don't know, making stuff up. Then I might go and just type a note there to be like, remember to look in this account for those things that you bought for the whatever. Anyway, good idea to keep yourself just a notepad that you keep in that location, and just put the location here, put the files. How long do you keep them? It just depends. This is a question I get a good bit. I will maybe do a video on this. The IRS recommends 3 years. A lot of times we just say 7 years, just because it makes sure, like, is it 3 years from today? Is it 3 years from the end of the previous tax year? Is it 3 years from the day that you filed a tax return? So if you say 7 years, it's probably good, but there are certain things that you need to keep forever. Like if you buy a house, those property records, that title or whatever, needs to be kept forever, or at least until you sell the house. Quarterly tax estimates. Did a whole video on this. I like this. I don't know why. But yeah, are you going to make quarterly tax estimates? I won't go around that. How are you going to pay? You're going to pay with a paper check. IRS is starting to say that they're not going to accept paper checks pretty soon. Or you're going to do EFT/PS or IRS Direct Pay, which is probably the same thing. And then how to set money aside for tax. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but this is, I think it'd be helpful. It's not going to be all inclusive. It's not going to be every last decision. It might be some gaps in here. It might be some redundant things, but for most people, I think this is way more than what most people have. And if this just at the very least gives you an idea of what you could be thinking about for taxes, then I think that's a good thing, right? All right, back to me. So what do you think? Is that helpful? I think it's pretty cool. I like the idea of saying a tax plan is more than just deductions, that it's actually a plan for filing your taxes. And for me, filing a tax return is, we do over 200 tax returns a year. So it's not something that I only do once a year and I have to remember the next step. I know what the next step is, just like you know what the next step is whenever you write the next chapter of your book. But even with that, we still need to have like some sort of guide or checklist to help us through that. In other news, we are opening a bookstore. That's exciting. Sneak peek there for anyone who actually happened to watch this whole video, who actually even watched any of this video. Maybe we will do, oh gosh, I need to do a video with Jessica talking about the bookstore and our plans for it. And then maybe we could even do it at the bookstore and kind of do a little walkthrough and show you everything. Right now, it's being painted on the inside. We finished replacing some of the floors, fixing some of the floors. It used to be a medical office, so we had to take sinks out of all the offices. One of the offices in the back is going to be like a separate away from home office for me whenever I need to get out of the house. There's going to be a warehouse in the back. That's going to be going up soon. They're working on concrete for the parking lot. Lots of stuff happening at once. That's super exciting. That's what this video should have been about, I think. I'll have to remember that for next week. Okay, so that's going to be it. Do you have a tax plan? Do you have a way that you take care of things or do things that you don't want to do? Like, what's your go-to, what's the word I'm thinking of? Your go-to strategy whenever you don't want to do something or something just feels insurmountable. Do you have a routine? Do you have a place you sit, a thing you do, a song you turn on? I'm curious to know what that is. Put it in the comments. And if you want the tax plan thing, click the link or just shoot me a message and I'll get that over to you. Thanks.